Guys, and welcome to an exciting video because today we are looking at the new SFG Gecko foods from Arcadia Reptile. Now, full disclosure, as I always do with the Arcadia videos, I do now work for Arcadia, so this does mean I get to use the products months before they come out and get a good idea of them. But I'm not paid to make these videos, I'm not told to make these videos. Arcadia release quite a few products every year, and not all of them I have with my own reptiles, and so I don't post about them. But because I've been using this with my Crested Gecko and Chahoua for a while, and I think it's quite a good product, I figured I would share this with you today. With that in mind, I do feel like, especially with foods, the proof is in the pudding. And I have to say, Lyra, my Crested Gecko, and Drogo, my Chahoua, are absolutely obsessed with these. So, let's start way back when I started using UV with my geckos and felt very frustrated that all gecko foods seem to contain synthetic D3. And vitamin D is fat soluble, so it's stored in the body. So if your gecko is getting a load from its food, it may not use its UV lamp enough, like it would naturally in the wild getting from the sun, or it may use its UV lamp because that is a far more natural way of obtaining vitamin D, and then it's then eating food that also contains synthetic D3, so it could potentially be over supplemented. Anyway, a few years ago, actually quite a while ago now, Sticky Foot Gold came out. So this didn't contain synthetic D3, this was by Arcadia, but there was only one flavour, so I could use it occasionally, but if you know Crested Geckos, Chahuas, Gargoyles, Leechies, anything like that, variety is key. They like a bit of difference, a little bit of flavour. So although I would use Sticky Foot Gold now and again, I would mix it in with other foods. So one day they might get this and that, and then another day Sticky Foot Gold. So when I heard that the Sticky Foot Gold range, now SFG, was coming out with new and improved flavours, I was very excited. To top it off, I actually got to design the packaging. Now, was this my first packaging I was doing? No, because I did also do Optimize Indulgence, but since I don't have tortoise, I didn't post a video about that. Bruce does sometimes occasionally like that sprinkled on his Omnigold, but as I said, like, I'm not going to post and promote every product Arcadia comes out with. It's just products I use with my animals I think could benefit you as well. But anyway, yeah, so I got to design a packaging, and on the watermelon flavour, if you look closely, you may recognise someone. Yeah, that's Lyra. So I took this photo of Lyra, so next time you're in the shop and you see that food, you can point to it and go, I know that gecko. That gecko is called Lyra. And she loves watermelon anyway, so this is just a perfect flavour for her. Anyway, let's talk gecko reactions, flavours, ingredients, and why I've actually been very impressed by these foods. Number one, gecko's reaction. So when I first gave these to the geckos, Drogo took to these straight away. However, Lyra was a tad more reluctant. Now once you get these, if you open them up, take a whiff. I mean, they're lush, they're very potent, the scent is all natural, there's no added flavours or scents or anything like that, but it packs a punch. I mean, it's very fruity. And when I first put it in with Lyra, she did kind of turn her nose up to it. I think it was quite intense. So what I did was I mixed half the new food and half her old food, and she ate that fine. Next time round, a little bit less of the old food, a little more of the new food, she ate that. By the third feeding, she was just eating SFG. As for flavours, of course, we can't tell what it actually tastes like, but at least like the scent seems to really attract the geckos, and obviously the flavour because they keep coming back. But it's to the point that when I'm making this up and I open the door, the geckos will come to the front of the tank seeking it out, which is really good because sometimes with geckos, there's that worry that, oh, they won't find their food if the tank's too big or they're too small or whatever. Whereas this smells so strongly in a really good way that I think it would attract your gecko to it. They definitely find it out, and I often place their food in different parts of the tank just to keep it interesting, and they will almost always find it. But the actual four flavours in the SFG range is Original, the classic formulation, Luxury Watermelon, Banana and Fig, and Ultimate Breeder. Of course, all of these you can feed to your gecko anyway, and you can actually mix them together. So if you're like, oh, they like banana and fig, but maybe a bit of watermelon, let's mix it up like a fruity cocktail. But also the good thing is when you're mixing them, because they're all natural and they don't have loads of synthetics in, you know that you can mix them safely and it's not going to harm your gecko. This moves me on to point number 3 though. Every diet here contains insects. Now I think I've been harping on about insects for a while when it comes to Crested Gecko and Chahoua diets, because for the most part if you're just feeding them the fruit powder diets and no live feed insects, they're missing out a lot in terms of their wild diet. And although Lyra and Drogo love hunting down food, I think it's great mental and physical enrichment, and I will continue to do that. All of these foods, despite their very fruity nice smell, also contain insects. So if you do have that gecko who has absolutely no interest in catching insects, or you just for some reason don't get them, at least you know with these foods they're definitely getting that protein. Point 4, ingredients wise, it is all natural, which we love. They also include magnesium, which if you don't know, magnesium helps to regulate calcium storage. Hence why when it comes to calcium, I actually only ever use calcium pro magnesium rather than calcium on its own. I have done for years now. So it's really cool to incorporate that also in these diets, along with other important vitamins and minerals, obviously. Now, initially, what I was going to do is incorporate the SFG foods into my normal feeding routine, because I kind of mix up brands. I think a lot of people do. And I was like, you know, they can be part of the food. But I must admit, I haven't used any other brands since I started this, and not because I have to, not because, you know, because in the past, if you've seen any of my Crested Gecko videos, you'll know I've mentioned all different brands, so it's not that. But I think because you can transition between the flavours or make up your own flavours by mixing them together, it never gets old. So I've just been working through these packets for the last few months, and I have a whole brand new packet from a whole different brand that I haven't even used, and I don't think I will, because to be honest, I love the fact that it doesn't contain synthetic D3. I think a lot of people with geckos, Crested Geckos, Chahuas, are realising the benefits of using actual UV lamps. So to have something that doesn't contain those synthetics, is all natural, smells lush, the geckos love it. I mean, I've had bowls left completely clean the next day, like, which is something I haven't had for a while. So I have definitely fully transitioned onto the SFG foods, and I don't think I'm going to change back, to be honest with you, because I think they're even like the same price as every other gecko diet on the market. So it's not even like they're any more expensive. So overall, I'm very happy with these diets. As I said, it could totally come across biased because I do work for the company. But as I said, I've tried and recommended other brands before. If you want to use other brands, if you want to mix this with other brands, like, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you you must change this. I just wanted to show you my findings because Lyra and Drogo are obsessed with these, and it might just be worth a try if you want to give it a go. I'll leave links to the foods below if you want any more information on them. Obviously, Arcadia's website or their socials, you can check that out. But I hope this has helped. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.